Okay.
Everyone say okay.
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 Got it.
Hello, Cassandra. Hey, Cassie.
Good morning.
Guess where I'm taking my son for lunch today?
That place,
Milton's.
delicious.
I know. I'm so excited for him to have food.
Where is Milton's?
In Robbinsdale.
No,
What's its claim to fame?
New Hope, Chris.
Well, I mean, Crystal, Robbinsdale.
I was going to say it's actually on the border.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's New
But they
Hope.
have phenomenal barbecue
Okay.
and brisket and yum. And the chef is super nice.
Milton's.
Milton's, it's called Milton's Vittles.
Oh, I want to go.
And it's family owned, which is awesome.
It's really good.
I love
It was
that even
delicious.
better.
Mm-hmm.
We got free mac and cheese.
We did. It was awesome. Morning, Mr.
But Chris
Jackson.
behaved and didn't eat it.
I did. Dang that whole 30.
Are you still on it?
Office, huh?
No, now I'm ketoing. Now
Oh,
Angie and I are ketoing. She's my mentor.
So still no mac and cheese today?
Still no mac and cheese. I could have the cheese, but I have to lick it off the macaroni though. Right, Angie?
It's probably worth it.
I have never done keto before. So this is
I'm like
gonna
trying
be
to
fun.
envision you licking off the cheese.
You know,
I had
allegedly
pizza
on
for
keto, you can have
breakfast.
vodka soda. So that is an option, licking the cheese.
But wine's a no-no, correct?
The what?
Wine is a no?
Angie,
When I did keto, I didn't do wine when I was doing it super strict. But then after I lost kind of what I wanted to lose, I introduced wine again slowly, but just had like a glass here and there.
but vodka has
They
no
had like
carbs.
keto friendly wines
It
now.
works.
Yeah, they do have low sugar wines that would definitely work.
And I'd rather just
Drink
do a
vodka.
vodka press
Yeah.
if I was gonna
That works.
drink.
Too much acid.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Susan, we have 18 people on. I'm gonna keep letting them in, but I'm gonna let you roll with it.
Okay, but you've got control of the videos and all that. Remember,
You can share them.
Can I?
Yep. Anyone
Okay.
can share on this one.
Okay, awesome. Okay, guys, we're going to talk about navigating Zillow leads. And we've got, types of challenges, and we're going to see an overall video of it's about 8 minutes, and it's to talking points to different things that come up with regularity in taking a Zillow lead. And then after that, we'd like to talk about some of the challenges that you guys are facing. And we're going to also provide you with a series of scripts for buyers, specifically for sellers, and also how would you respond to them in text or telephone, and just content in helping to try to grow and nurture a lead. So we'll have that, but would like to get your feedback too on what you guys are experiencing, because that's what's important. So I will look to see if.
And while you're queuing that up, I just want to just tell you guys why are we doing this?
Yes.
What's going to be happening this spring with the Zillow leads is 99% of the houses they're going to be looking for are going to be sold, right? So we need to have that tactic ready, right, to get in front of these people, because again, these people want to buy houses. So, and it wasn't just Susan and I putting this together. We reached out to some of the highest converting Zillow people, and I have to brag. I have to brag on myself. Sorry. I didn't realize this, but I have converted 43% of my Zillow leads. So when we're talking, this is from experience. So there we go. I was just really excited. I was number 6.
When you say converted, does that mean you've closed a sale with them?
Yep.
Okay.
Nice job, Chris.
43%. Bam.
Susan and Chris, I did want to say this too, just so everyone knows this. A lot of the times what we're also seeing as ISAs and what is happening is sometimes when you guys say it's a junk lead or it's not a good lead, we will get the lead
Sorry,
back
Jen.
and we hand it to another agent and they move forward with the sale. And the reason we don't give it back to you is because you felt that it like wasn't a good connection. That lead also thought, then you just kind of drop them. So we've got to lean into what Chris and Susan are saying, because we've got to get deeper and we've got to turn these leads over. And just because we get a lot of Zillow leads, there's a lot of people that just kind of cherry pick the top, that these are easy converters. And these ones that you're letting go, we can get sales on them still. You just got to like be really, really go deeper. So
Awesome. Thanks, Brett. All right, Susan, you go.
All right, hang tight. He just starts yapping before I was ready, so. Get this into a full screen here.
My name is Dave.
Come on, Dave.
Ness. I'm with Thrive Real Estate Group. Became an agent in 2007 and been partnered with Zillow since 2010. I think it's really, really important for us.
Sorry.
It's really, really important for us on the initial phone call to engage and overcome objections, simply because if we don't, certainly the client is going to hang up the phone and figure out another path forward. And so keep this in mind. Whoever simplifies and clarifies the process the best is probably going to get
Has the audio dropped for everyone else?
Yes, it has.
I
In fact,
can't hear it either. Susan, you're muted.
Oh,
markers
that's
are
probably
in today's day and age. One of the
Okay, it's probably because I muted. I'm just trying to keep quiet so everybody can hear, but so sorry. Let's just make.
A lot of people are in that position where they haven't even considered buying yet. Some legitimately cannot buy or aren't in a position to buy. So for us, I think the question of, have you ever considered the buying process? And simply asking that question and then stop talking and listening. Oftentimes you'll identify a few people, say 2 or 3 out of 10, that thought they wouldn't be able to purchase because they thought they had to have 20% down or didn't think they were going to qualify for a loan. And so again, we become educators. We become opportunity givers, so to speak, when we're able to open up worlds that the consumer didn't even know was there. So if we can do that just a handful of times with renter call-ins, that's huge, and it can be very effective. Simply navigating that conversation by explaining that the listing agent does not exist. And so the for sale by owner is doing this without an agent. And so just to protect yourself, it makes a lot of sense to have at least one agent in the transaction, and explaining that even though the seller has opted to not work with professional guidance, you as the buyer still are very much empowered to have an agent advocating and guiding you through that process. Many times we engage with people that are intending to buy and want to buy, but they're not quite ready to do so. And so one of the key things that we do in that situation is to help the client understand the timeline. Oftentimes the timeline is a lot shorter than they might think. So simply by asking the question, hey, in a perfect world where everything was laid out perfectly and the timing happened just the way that you wanted it to, when would the moving truck move up to your house? When would the moving truck drive up to the house? When would you be buying your friend's pizza to help you move into your new house? And oftentimes what we discover is that even though that's about 12 months out or even 18 months out, when you backwards engineer the process for them and actually unpack all the steps that's going to take to really be educated, to really be empowered to make awesome decisions, everything from pre-underwriting with a lender, understanding markets, understanding different neighborhoods and why or why not to pursue different segments of the city. oftentimes what we find is that there's actually not as much time that the client actually anticipated on the front end. And so all of a sudden at the end of that question, and when we actually walk through the process, many times those clients are actually ready to go ahead and meet now, even though they thought it's 12 to 18 months out.
Oh, come here.
There's a young couple that we actually became friends through the transaction that we met at the first showing. And this couple actually ended up really liking the house. And it was their first showing. It was the first one that they'd seen. And so we're standing there after about 15 minutes of meeting one another in the kitchen. And the gentleman said, "This is really awkward because I think we want to pursue this home. We want to make an offer, but we just met 15 minutes ago. We don't even know each other." And so to disarm the situation, I acknowledge that just by saying, "Yeah, you think it's awkward for you. It's really awkward for me because I don't know you either." And so we all had a good laugh. And then I just started asking lots of questions about what their goals were for the home, whether or not they would renovate the home, keep it the way it is, their family, where they came from, why they're buying now, what their vision was for the home over the next 4 or 5 years. And just through that conversation, standing right there at the dining room table, we were able to make some pretty deep connections and then feel really good about moving forward with the offer. So we did that, and they still live there today. You know, I think one of the things that gets lost a lot of times with real estate agents in general is that real estate is a sales industry. And a huge part of sales is being able to navigate, overcome, and win at objections. And so if you're one of those people that's watching right now and gets a little nervous when it comes to objections, and you get a little queasy when people give you an objection, I would encourage you to actually seek coaching, seek some type of supplemental engagement from somebody who's been there and done that. Maybe it's your broker, maybe it's a personal coach, maybe it's a training program that you would engage. But understanding that real estate is predicated and built on sales, it's incumbent upon us to be really good at sales. And then to do that, we have to be able to navigate and overcome objections and show a path forward that the client didn't see before.
There's a part to this that I think that we accidentally skipped over that addresses when the person says that they want to speak to the listing agent specifically. And what they you know, and your first assumption is because they're looking to get a discount. But the thing is to ask them, well, you know, why is that? And then just hear what their reason is, because we can't assume we know what someone's going to say. And this is part of that listening more and talking less. Let them talk so they can guide us into what direction we're going to take and what are we going to address, because we could address an objection that's not even there. So, but you hear that often, I'm sure. You know, are you the listing agent? Because I want to speak to the listing agent.
Hey, can you unshare, Susan?
I will, but I needed to also go to this.
Oh, I was gonna say, I didn't know if you were gonna show this.
Yeah, just real quick. So, this is just something that, hold on. This is something we'll send out to you.
Susan put this together. I would love to share co-credit, but Susan did all of this. So this is a really helpful tool, guys.
So this is
You can open it.
just so you know, these are scripts for each day, and it breaks down email, texts, and phone scripts for buyers and sellers because they're different conversations. So it just gives you an idea for content and a direction to go as you're going through a journey with people and trying to pique their interest as you go. So this is all here, and we'll send this off to you. And then I also had a conversation with Tony Lawrence, who's right up there with Chris in the conversion. He said his best advice is to, you know, keep up with your leads and don't ignore them. It's something, it's a living, constantly changing thing, but it's the heart of your business. So keep it up to date and go into Zillow leads every day or every other day. And one of the benefits is the fact they give you prompts and to follow the prompts. So if it says, you know, send a text to this person, send it. And if you can't get a response, and this surprised me, but Tony said, pick up the phone. Pick up the phone.
Why did that surprise you?
Because Tony is a whopping 10 years old, but he also understands that the language, a lot of the clients that he works with, texting and everything is foreign to them. And when they do any kind of connection or interaction, it's on the phone. So it's something that he's overcome, and he actually, it's a good for him. So
If you're not talking, can you guys mute?
thanks. So stay in tune with the app because it'll help keep you on track and help keep moving you forward. And then if you've got dead weight, you've got people that aren't going to be buying for months to come, or you haven't been able to connect, you know, work with the people. And that's what these scripts are for too, is trying to crack into some of these prospects. And timing is, you know, everything. But
Hey,
keep
let
dead
me-
weight.
Can you guys see the scripts? Because Susan, I still see your inbox.
Seriously? My
I
goodness,
do.
it says I'm screen sharing.
I see your screen sharing, but it's your inbox.
That's crazy.
So you have to reshare. If you pulled up the document, there you go.
Okay, no wonder. Okay, so here are the scripts.
There
So,
we-
yes. Well, no wonder there was no oohing and eyeing. No.
These are, yeah, I'm like, these are really good. I want them to see them.
Yeah,
Are you
so-
sharing these with us?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to be sending them out to everybody. So this is something that you'll have on hand.
Thank you.
You bet. So again, and a lot of this too, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just use a different topic or subject that you're reaching out, but you can use a lot of the same, you know, building blocks for a text or an email. So you don't have to be witty and come up with something all the time. But this is something to help give you contact with content, something to say. And, but we'd love to hear, we've got Brits on the call too, and I see James LaValle. So we've got some of the phone people here of all of this. And we'd love to hear some, what you guys are going through and any questions and things that you've got.
Can you unshare?
I can,
I like seeing all the people.
I do too.
So guys, what we want to open this up to is, what are you struggling with? And we can have kind of a team, you know, like a group, I was going to say group therapy. I don't quite mean group therapy, but just like what am I trying to say here?
Collaboration. A
Collaboration.
group collaboration.
Just some role playing with
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
guys are struggling with. So, and again, guys, this spring, what are you going to be getting every single time you pick up a Zillow lead? The house is already sold. Do you have a plan? Or a cat playing behind you?
And if you think your
I-
plan is that you're gonna do a video or a text or voice message that says, hey, the house isn't available, we've got to have a new plan. So let's figure out a new plan right now.
Chris gave me a really good plan, as long as it's active contingent, that is.
Right, and that's to see if you can still go show it.
Well, getting in front of them is the key.
Yes, but what we're going to run into, because I've already seen this happening, is people are skipping inspection and the houses are going right to pending.
Yep.
So what do you say when that house is pending?
Hey, Otto.
What do you say, Cassie? You yell at your dog?
Oh my goodness, I'm not muted. I'm so sorry.
It happens. So I want to hear from you guys who are taking the Zillow leads. What do you say when the house is pending?
Hey, this is Sharon. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
I didn't know someone else was going at the same time. So for me, I've done it different ways. Like I let them know that that house is already sold or what have you. Would you like to see another one? Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I had one that worked really, really great. She was very receptive to meeting for coffee, and we had like a 1 hour buyer consult, which turned out fabulous. But it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes I get them to look at another house, and sometimes they just seem to drop off. So I'm kind of a mixed bag on it.
Thanks for that, Sharon. Who else? How are you dealing with that house is pending?
I typically will look into the house that they originally wanted to see and then find like properties somewhat nearby if there are any, and come with that when I give them a call and let them know that while that one is pending inspection, we may still be able to go look at it. Here's some others that I found that might interest you as well. And then I still try to meet with them no matter what, so that I can get in front of them and build that rapport and then create that relationship and go from there.
So here's what I want you to think, Angie. Change your language there, because to me, if it's pending inspection, it's not pending. It is not pending until that inspection contingency is removed. So what I say is they have accepted an offer contingent on inspection. That might mean there's room for us to get in there. But again, I think this spring, guys, and the spring is right now, we're going to see more and more of them actually pending, where they skip the inspection. So Angie, I love that you brought that up, because the first tactic should be to try to find like houses, right? Okay, who else? What if they're looking at a property where there's nothing for sale around it?
I think it's important at that point to have a phone conversation instead of a text message or email. Like to pick up the phone and explain it to them versus just texting them, by the way, this one's not available and there's no others. Want to start a search?
And you should be doing that every time.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Hey,
Hi, Jen.
Hello. I'm getting
Gosh,
ready
I
to leave.
miss the Zoom calls with you where you're walking around your house.
I know. Shocker. I'm getting ready to leave. Mom of three. I can't help it. I don't sit. So I typically, if there's not one anywhere in the area, I mean, there typically is something, right? And so if there's not one at all, then I'll offer to get them to go for coffee. But then what I try to do is if it's contingent, I try to get in there anyway, because I tell them, hey, listen, even though it's already under contract, there's a good chance it can fall apart. Nothing's closed till it's closed. And also it'll give us a chance, number one, to meet. And number two, it'll give us a chance to see what you love about that house and what you don't like about that house. And now we can move forward. The biggest thing I have is I get to that point and we do that and we have a great time. And then they just disappear. So like, that's on my mission today, is to like get all these people back. Like they meet me that day. And then if there's just no more houses, they just come to this halt and then stop answering. So I'm like turning into a stalker.
That's exactly what happens, Jen. I agree.
Interesting.
It's so weird. Yeah. And it's new. That didn't, usually once I got there, I had them. And now I'm like, okay, Jesus Christ. Like we had one guy I was out with for 7 hours. 7 hours we were out. We had a great time. And then I sent him 2 more things like, hey, let's go out tomorrow. And he's like, yeah, this isn't going to work. He said, we're not a match. He said, we're not a match.
Jen, that's when you say, tell me about that. And then see if you can find out what the reasons are. And just.
No, he was not having it. So I don't know, maybe my guess is he was kind of a professional player person. So my guess is he probably went home, told somebody he's looking for a house, and one of his friends was like, hey, you got to. But I'm finding that with like a couple of my Zillow leads now, where I got them out. We went out once and, so maybe they're just freaking out a little bit. And so I'm trying to give them a little bit space without giving them too much space.
do any of you use the high note presentation? Because I'm really liking.
I
What
would
was that?
really like access to High Note myself. I really needed it last night, but I don't have access yet. So
Oh yeah, don't we have to get approved approved for that?
I
You
think
just have
Liz,
to ask Liz.
yeah, Liz gives you a login, but I think, you know, for those of you not familiar with it, there's actually a lot of pre-created templates. And one of them was like a pre-meeting with a buyer. What I like about it is it shows you all the analytics of what the buyer's looking at. So one I had the other day, I went in and she spent 18 minutes looking at the loan officer information that was provided in that presentation. Well, where she only looked at my Zillow review section for 2 minutes. So what that tells me is the lending is a big concern of hers. So then I'm able to take that information without her knowing I have that analytics, but create conversation regarding the lending piece, knowing that that's quite clearly a cause of concern for hers. If you guys don't have High Note, and I am not technologically like, I mean, let me just say, okay, but High Note was very simplistic to use, and Parker or someone already has a whole bunch of templates created. And I mean, I'm just seeing who's actually really interested in where their points of contention are.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
I think you
High
need to
Note's a
figure
really
that
good
out.
tool. So when you guys are meeting with these people and then they're not talking to you, what are the main things you are trying to get out of that first conversation?
Their
I
motivation.
typically, yeah, their motivation. I typically will say, you know, tell me your plan and see what they say and then kind of go forward with that. If they say, you know, oh, I don't want to move for 6 months, I kind of use like my example and say, you know, well, let's go ahead and, you know, let's go see a house and you know, and then we do that. I try not to push for the pre-approval on day one. But then after we do that, I tell them how important it is and I give them some examples. And like us, where we weren't planning on buying this house last year in January, we weren't moving till June. So I try to use examples so that they can hear that like it really does happen. And not only does it happen, but it happened to an agent. And sometimes that helps them then kind of push them along. I'm learning to shut my mouth too. So I'm learning to listen a little bit more. So that's helping.
That is one of the greatest skills you can acquire.
It's really hard.
So why, let me ask you this, why would you show them houses when they're not approved?
Because they're coming through Zillow and they want to see a house today at 2 o'clock.
So,
And it's
you're
12:30.
talking the first meeting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, totally agree with that. Yep.
Yeah.
But after that, guys, if you're meeting them for coffee and they really want to move, I'm not kidding. Don't waste your time. Guys, remember they're clicking on Zillow. Okay, we are the experts. If their whole plan for buying a house this spring is to click on Zillow, they're never going to get a house. You need to convey the value of meeting with you as soon as possible. Okay, so here's the deal. It's a crazy market out there. If you want to buy now, let's get you pre-approved. I'm going to give you first access. If you're going to, you know, everything on Zillow that you're seeing is going to be sold. Here's my value I provide. I provide you first shot. Okay, I can get you connected with a lender. I can get you in those houses right away. Okay, so know your value.
Leverage the team too. The fact that we get people who have got homes that are coming onto the market. So there are going to be properties that are not published, that are not known. This is your pass to them. And again, I would hone in on the fact that you will bring available properties to them as options, whereas Zillow, it's not. So, and we have 2 more minutes. Miss Britt, do you want to?
I'm gonna highlight our videos, but I did want to say this too. We were talking to our Zillow area director, and just things that we're seeing as ISAs in some of the conversations we're having and this was already mentioned from Susan and Chris, but using language like "tell me more about that" or "help me understand." Like help me understand when you say 6 months, is that you want to be in a home in 6 months, or you're wanting to get your search started in 6 months? Why is that so important? Because you're going to have about 90 days there where you're like, I just talked to someone last night, or it was 2 days ago, and they said 6 months. And I said, I started kind of breaking down, like, have you purchased a home before? You know, asking that question every single time too, like, what is your knowledge of purchasing a house, so that you can understand, because they have a lot of anxiety around something, and it sounds really cliche, but just as like a doctor, you go into the doctor's office and you're sitting there like, okay, tell this to me in layman's terms. You do the same thing as a real estate agent. You are shooting off like interest rates, this and that, contingency inspection, all those things. And a lot of people don't know, and they're not asking you because you're talking so quickly and so confidently about it. They feel like they're morons. I just bought a home 18 months ago, and you need to simplify. You need to slow down, and you need to say, hey, now I wouldn't be doing my job as a professional agent and someone who cares about you and getting into your home if I didn't let you know that the appropriate next step is for us to get pre-approved. And here's why. Now, when I say that, does that make you nervous? What are your concerns about it? Even if they don't mention nervousness or concerns, you need to ask, make an assumption of like, does that, when I say that, what do you like? What do you think about that? How do you feel? And when we use language like that, what we're doing is we're in control, but we also want to seemingly make them feel like they're in control. People don't like to be pushed and backed into a corner. So as you're leading the way, you're saying, I want to let you know I'm here to bring you my best and to bring my expert opinion, but you're in the driver's seat. So I'm going to share this with you, and you tell me if you think that this seems like it makes sense. If it doesn't, help me understand why. I want to speak to that. If you're not self-aware, you're not going to help them become self-aware, and you're not going to win. You're not going to win if you don't know how to be like, make people self-aware of their feelings. And that's what's going to help too when you're with motivation. Don't just get their motivation, use their motivation. Okay. We can have their motivation sit up here on the shelf all day long, but when you get into the home and you're in the kitchen, if Susan says she wants to have a dinner party because it makes her feel alive, ask Susan how she is feeling in the kitchen. Don't just say like, what do you think of the kitchen? Use the motivation. Hey, you mentioned to me that you feel alive when you have dinner parties. Do you feel alive standing in this kitchen? Like, can I come over and are you going to make me dinner? And is this the home? Are we going to write an offer on this home today? And a lot of times when we see, I hear from a lot of you over the years, if you see that first home and they just leave, you've got to capitalize on that first home like none other and bring all those language pieces in. But I'm going to leave that there.
Love that.
I want to hit video for a second. You guys, don't let us be these like crazy monsters that have to like call after you or tattle on you that you're not sending videos. This is going to make us better. Like we're all adults. As ISAs, we're supposed to do it too. So let's just do this together. Here's the thing. We're a team and we have a goal of where we're going, of our mission for a team. This is Pemberton Homes team. This isn't just Brit's show. This is Pemberton Homes. And so we're going to move in consistency. What we bring is the best customer service for our clients. And in that, there is consistency. You don't go to Marriott and you don't go to Delta and show up and have everyone do something different. If they do and it gets caught on, it's a question of, are you a good fit or aren't you? Because we want to bring the best. And if we all hone in on what the best is, then we're going to move in that. And that's where we're going to see impact. If only a third of the people are doing it, there's not the impact that we need. So we've all got to get on board and help understand, why don't you want to do this? Is it because of this reason or this reason? And we're going to start asking those questions, just like you would ask your client, what is your hesitation here? But for video, thank you to everyone who is sending out videos. Anyone who's not, let's just get on board. Let's have a conversation of why you're not doing this. Are there concerns? Let's figure it out. I think you all know that Parker is super flexible. If something's not working, we're not going to keep doing it. So don't be like scared on that, but let's figure out if it's going to work. Okay. That the quicker we can do that, the quicker you can not do it, or we can actually get on board and see that it's going to work, but we've got to move together in it. So with video, we need to be really clear. We need to be real concise, and we need to be captivating. What do I mean by that? Shorter, the better. Okay. It needs to be high energy or just real authentic, big smile. Like you're excited. You're excited. You love your job. You're an expert and they want to be your friend. If I see a video from someone that's like, hey, I'm going to get you into 729 Street. I can't wait to talk to you. I'm like, check, please. Like, can I get literally anybody else? Anyone else that would love to show me this home? So you need to put your best foot forward. You need to have a smile. You need to have energy. If you've got to like walk a lap around your house before you do that video real quick, do that. But it should be just short and simple. This is a script that we were just talking about as a team that could be a potential. We're going to dive into it. And then if it's what we land on, we'll send it to you where you could like use that. But it just goes something like this. Let's say the lead's name is Mary. Okay. And I'm the agent. I'm not going to do high energy right now, but you get it. It's just this simple. Mary, this is Brittany. It's great to connect with you. I'm looking forward to helping you with your home search. Once I get confirmation for a showing, I'll let you know. I hope you're having a fabulous day. We'll talk soon. So simple. After that, you get off and you go find those properties. And then you might send a text message back of like, hey, got some great news. Do you have like 5 minutes for a phone call? You're getting on the phone. You're having a conversation with them if you're not able to get into that property. And you're saying like, but I found these and because of where the market's at, I actually went ahead and I scheduled it for the same time. Should we get in there? Does that work for you? Do you want to do both or just one? And then they might be like, oh, I don't want to do that at all. Or you've kind of just sucked them in and they feel a little bit obligated to go. And then you actually start building a relationship with them. So it might just be changing your language like a little bit more and helping to lead them. Just as where we don't say, hey, go get pre-approved, give me a call back. No, I'm going to send you this. I'm going to get a lender connected. And when do you think that you'd be able to have this done? It's Thursday today. Tomorrow night. Great. I'm going to put this in my calendar and I'm going to give you a call tomorrow night just to check in. I wouldn't be doing my job as your agent if I didn't follow up after you and make sure that you're taken care of. If you're not following up like that and you're letting leads come back to you, someone else has that sale. Okay. So clear, concise, captivating, and leading. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Brett. All right, guys, I have to tell you this story because it's really relevant. I have a client that is closing on a house in 2 weeks and the electrical are fuses. So he's like, I want to get this switched. My insurance is going to be lower. So I sent him my electrician that I recommend everybody. And his parents said, well, we have someone that we want you to meet with too. So Monday, my electrician met us there. Our appointment was at 9 o'clock. My electrician was there at 9 o'clock. He walked in, he shook hands. He said, tell me about the house. He walked us around. He checked all the outlets. He talked about this, you're going to want GFCI here. It looks like the fuses are here. Let's make sure it's grounded. We walked outside. He educated us the whole time on what this house needed to truly be up to code in electrical. The second electrician met us on Wednesday. He was 30 minutes late. Walked in, walked downstairs, looked at it and said, where should I send the quote, and left. We got the quotes last night. The one from yesterday was $3,000. Okay. My electrician was $4,000. Guess which one he picked? Mine. Okay. That $1,000 was totally worth it because my electrician took the time, was on time, was educational, took the lead, and my client Alex felt taken care of. Okay. Be that good electrician. I know that sounds weird, but guys, take care of them. Be the expert, lead them. Like Britt said, don't get into don't use techie language because he used, language that we understood, but he took charge and said, this is what I would do if I were you. This is what I would do if I were you. Okay. Be the expert. You will convert at a higher level. Okay. We've gone 9 minutes over. Susan, did you have anything else?
No, I just wanted to thank everybody for coming. It's been a crazy busy week, everyone. Continue on your greatness this week and reach out if you need anything, and look forward to continuing work this weekend with you guys. So,
And if anyone wants to script practice on those Zillow calls, the more you practice, the more natural you sound, and the more it will just become the way you talk. Okay, so reach out to us. Thanks everyone for coming on. 20 people, awesome. Go be fabulous. Go sell.
Thank you.
goodbye.
Thank you.